G'day guys, so I've just come down for a bit of an explore back down at Burns Beach. Just having a look at the rocks and whether there's an image to be taken. So I'm not too sure whether there is an image or not, but it's a beautiful evening. The sun's just going down, there's clouds on the horizon, so we're not really going to get a sunset, but we might get a decent image once the sun's gone. There's a little bit of high cloud that might catch some of the colour. This video is sponsored by Squarespace, so if you need a website, a domain or an online store, do what I did and make your next move with Squarespace. And we've just had some fairly hot weather come down from the north, which usually means that our sea breeze is not as strong, which makes it a little bit easier for landscape photography. It means that I'm not blowing off my feet here. Having said that, I'm still getting a little bit of sea spray being blown back, so I've got the cloth over the front of the lens. So what I've got set up here on the lee mount is the polarizer, which is fully engaged. I'm getting glare off the wet sand and the rocks and the water in the distance. And behind that, I've got the 0.9 hard graduated filter. I'm using a hard grad because my horizon is dead flat, so a hard grad is what I need there. So with that set up on ISO 100, I've got an f-stop of 11. I started off at 8, but I've just brought it down a little bit just so that I can get my shutter speed up to a second, because I think that'll be ideal here. My composition are these rocks just in front of me, but I'm around about 10 meters back from those rocks. And the reason for it is the waves are just crashing right over the rocks, covering the rocks, and are coming back almost 15 meters. So I'm well and truly in the water when the waves push back behind me. And because of the rock in front of me, the water swings around from the left and also swings around from the right. So what that causes in front of me is some chaos with the water, and hopefully some patterns and some foreground interest for my image. So those patterns in the foreground are going to anchor my image, and in the midground I'm going to have the rocks, and then off in the distance I've got the clouds just catching a little bit of light. So should be really, really nice. Let's see how this turns out. So I've moved up the beach, I've now swung around, and really I'm pointing straight into where the sun has set, because there's some beautiful colour just on the horizon there. I've got the camera really down low on the tripod. The legs are out wide, gives me quite a low perspective. I'm down quite low because there's a few rock pools just in front of the camera that I'm trying to use as some foreground interest. I'm getting the colour bouncing off the sky, which is lovely, and then there's some beautiful colour just above the horizon. I've still got the polarizer on because, as you can imagine, I'm getting lots and lots of glare, so I've got that fully engaged. So I've changed the filter. I've taken the 0.9 off and I've got the 0.6 on the front. That's because there's less of a difference in the light in the sky and the foreground. Of course, the reason why you want... Whoa. Oh, here comes a big wave. I might just get out of here. All right, it's a bit rough. Okay, looks like I'm in the middle of the water here. Just bear with me. As I was saying, The reason why you would have a graduated filter on your lens is to try and darken down the brightest part of your image. In this particular case, it's the sky. The foreground is darker, so I've got the filter on the sky to make that a little bit darker. By darkening down the sky, it allows me to increase the exposure, which means that I can get the darker foreground brighter and get more detail in the rocks and in the shadows. So the tide's coming in tonight, so I've got to be fairly careful around the rocks, and it looks like it's coming in at a fair rate, which means that these rocks in front of me are going to be covered in water fairly soon. So I might call it a night. It's great to be back out here at Burns Beach taking some seascapes. They're one of my favourite types of images. Yeah, the water's definitely coming in. If you're new to my channel and you enjoy landscape photography, please consider subscribing, because I've got heaps of landscape adventures coming up. A big thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. I've been using them for years and I recommend them to all my friends. So to be able to have them sponsor this channel is really fantastic. They've got great templates which are easily customizable. It means that you can have a website up very, very quickly. And if you do have an issue, you can call their award-winning 24/7 customer service. So if you are looking for a website, go and check out squarespace.com for a free trial. That gives you a month, which is heaps of time to set up your website. And then if you do want to continue, go to squarespace.com/Andrew Marr for 10% off your first purchase. I might hang around here for a few more minutes to see whether there's another image to grab, but I'm going to end the vlog here. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a like below and add your feedback in the comments. And if you do subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified when I upload my next video. Until then guys, thanks very much for watching.